Hello my Owlettes, and welcome back to the next video in the Mrs. Claus Creative Fun video series. So we're going to put together our journals. You would think, it took me days and finally had to get my daughter to say, Mom, just go with what you always go with. And I'm like, okay, so I feel at peace with my choice. I was going to show you guys what I had thought about doing. I have messed around with this journal so much. It's actually an old binder. It's really small though, and it's an old address book. And so I think I might have showed you guys before. I bought it at a thrift store for like $1, and I've been wanting to make a journal out of it. But with my Creative Daily Journal, my junk journals that I like to do for my life to document, I always go with the composition book. So that is what I'm going to be doing today for my December journal. And what I've decided to do also is I'm going to include my November and December because, as I mentioned earlier, I had a journal for September. I'm going to kind of follow the same style for my November and December. I'm really loving this vintagey material. This remember I talked about, I don't know if you guys are new here, I did a video about this journal, and actually I did some homespun kits today and they're already sold out, which include pieces of this quilt that are done with love but just not beautifully done, if that makes sense. Because see, the stitching is all wonky, but it sure does make a fun journal cover. So I'm going to be doing this again for my upcoming Christmas journal, which is also going to be November and December. So I'm going to actually put November and December into this Christmas journal. Being said, I'll show you guys. So what I was going to say is, just when I was getting into this journal and loving it and putting it all together, because this is only for September, it was time to move into another journal. And I'm running into the same thing in my October journal, because just when I'm like, right now, it's just starting to get that feel of that comfort, that fluffiness, the love, and then I know that in 15 days, I'll be moving on to another journal. Not that I don't mind moving on to another journal, but when it's kind of like 2 months is a good, to me, is a good feel for being in a journal. That's just my personal, it has personal feels, so. Okay, so this, I pulled this off my shelf. This is one that I did in 2021. I included both my November and December in here, and I think that actually when I chose to do the last couple years, I wanted to do a standalone journal because I didn't particularly care that I put both of these together. I'm going back to putting both of them together. I'm okay with it. I think we celebrate, you know, the holidays and the season for 2 months for me, and so well, it's more than that, but you know, it's like this, when I pulled this out, I was looking, I was like, oh yeah, I like this. I like having both of my months in here. One, just when you're loving on your journal, I won't have to go into another journal. So let's get to it, shall we? That's the choice, that's this decision. So I'm going to start out with a basic composition book, like I always do, and I'm going to cut down the center because I don't need this many pages in there. And I'm just going to take my Tim Holtz, which seem to be very handy about getting this stitch out fairly quickly, and I'm just going to cut this stitch out. As you can tell, I'm kind of ripping that page up in the front, which is totally fine because I'm going to actually take out a total of 14 pages. That's just been a good set. I think I took when I first started doing composition books several years ago, someone that I was watching how she put hers together, she didn't take it out and make it into a junk journal, but she just took out pages so that it would last her. Let's see here, I'm losing count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. She took out pages so that it would, did she take out 14? I don't even remember. Or do I just do 7? I think I'm just going to do 10. I mean, I'm gonna really, I want to do something a little different in this journal. and I'll tell you more as I get into it. So one of the things you may notice when you get your kit is I did not include a lot of, I included a book and I included a lot of ephemera in there, but I didn't actually include like a journal. And the reason being, I'm going to try to get some of these papers because we'll use some of these papers in here. The reason being that I decided to do that is because everybody kind of has their own style of what they want to do for their December journal. Like, you know, basically having a mine, for example, is going to be November and December. You know, you guys may not want to do that, so I kind of left it up to, I kind of included all the elements that you could put into a junk journal, but then having the ability to choose what you want, what kind of journal you want. And I went back and forth over what little golden book I wanted to include, because I really have gotten into this past year of picking out a little golden book because I have tons of them and I love them so much. But I, again, want to use a composition notebook. So I've decided I'm going for Sesame Street. I know, it's totally out of the norm, but I love it, so don't get it. I was ripping books up, you guys, for this the other day, and I was talking to my daughter and my husband. We were all kind of talking at the kitchen, and later on that day he goes, I cannot believe I saw you tear up 2 books. I mean, you know, because it's like they cringe anytime I tear up a book. But we all know, as junk journalers and book, we reuse our books. We give them new life, I feel like. So that's what we're doing. We're going to give this Sesame Street book new life. So I'm just ripping the seams out here. Sometimes it works really good, and other times I gotta mess with it a little more. And if you have a staple puller, that might be the best bet. But these Tim Holtz scissors are great for these kind of projects of getting things bent and cut. Okay. Ta-da! And we can always save the covers to that book. We can use it for different things. So, now if you're used to a little golden book, you know that once you put it in, it's really hard to put it's nearly impossible to put it in order because it does 2 different sections like this. So I don't worry about the order at all. I just open it up. Now, if you guys are not wanting to sew your journals in, you can definitely just cut the pages out and then do a tip in, or glue this page down in here. You know what I mean? And like make that your cover. So I'm going to start out, and I'm just going to start intertwining pages. Since I'm doing my little big bird, it's so cute. You know that means I'm going to be including some major yellow into this journal. So I'm going to do this as my entry page. Right? It almost feels like I should take out more pages. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take out a couple more. I don't know why it feels so bulky. Maybe it's just in my head, but. And then I picked out, I literally went to my stash, and as you can see, these are like pages that have been ripped, they've been used, they've been cut out. So like I'm gonna be using up my stash. So I'm just gonna take some of these and fold them in half. And I do like to use a bone folder to get that edge really straight there. And some of these are the single-sided, which work out great. Let's just go through here real quick and pick out some. Yeah, I just literally grabbed a handful of stuff from a box that I have of stuff we are going to use. See, as you can tell, I ripped that, which I kind of like that, so we're going to go for it. I love the holly leaf and, of course, the gingham. Okay. And then there's a ton of other stuff under here, like old, some printables that I've printed out from last year. I love this. I think this just totally says Mrs. Claus because of the florals on it. Okay, we're going to move all this over so we kind of have a different, a clean slate, so I'm not working on top of everything. How about that? Okay, I'm going to move the cover over and move these, and then I'm going to fold these in half and crease them down the middle with my bone folder. And that way, if you have, especially like, because I know, like, for example, me and my daughter are getting really excited because Mrs. Claus, Hallmark starts there. I haven't been into a lot of stores, but she's been going into like Marshall's and TJ Maxx, I guess, and Walmart and all those stores, and they have, of course, all their Christmas up. I did go into Hobby Lobby not too long ago. So yeah, that can definitely get you in the spirit of things. And see, sometimes even like this being ripped, I think it kind of gives it a little bit of character. I know this has that edge piece on there. Okay. And then I have those. Okay, so we're going to intertwine these. The one thing I do point out is that I glue my pages together, so I'm definitely going to want to do every two pages. So, because I'll be gluing these together. So that'll be 1, and then 2, and then I'll put in another sheet. And then 1, 2, we'll put in. So that's how I kind of put my things together. I'm going to do 1, 2, and then you can also add like a card, which I think would be a really cute little tuck spot there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Grab another pretty paper. And some of these, like, if you, you don't have to put the entire book in there if you don't want to, because you can always cut out, like, images. Like, I think I won't put this one in there. I know, it doesn't go in order, but by the time you put all your goodies and stories and ephemera in there, it would be hard to follow the story because you would be so interested in all the other things. And sometimes you can put them like down below instead of all in the middle. Kind of like scatter them out. Oh, the Cookie Monster. Let me put this one up at the top. Then 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now the last one, let's see, 1. Okay, so this page does not have one, so I'm going to take that out. Okay, then for the center, I'm gonna put this in there, and then I think I might come in and add this. And then the ones that I didn't use, I can always come in and maybe do like a little quick flip through. Are you happy with the way it looks? If you want to include, you could always do like a double layer, you know, or if you wanted to do something like, for example, on this page, have them do a double up. We could always do that. Okay, now that we have everything intact, now keep in mind, in my books, let me show you. I don't try to get my pages even on the edges. You could definitely cut those, but by the end of this, they're so fluffy. Let me show you. And plus I put so much trim. Okay, so again, this is by choice if you want to have your string, the tail part in the middle, or if you want it on the outside. I'm going to start with mine in the middle. I kind of like that look sometimes. Really, it's a random, it's random. You know, sometimes it's in the middle, sometimes it's on the outside. So I'm going to leave a nice little generous tail on the end here. And I'm going to go up to the top. I noticed that everybody, oops, do not let this go through, like I almost did. I noticed there's several different ways to bind a book. I may not be binding it correctly. This was one that I figured out how to do, and it's just stuck with me. So I go down and then I come back up, and it's going to get kind of tricky because of that, of the string already in there. Is going to be kind of crowding that hole a little bit, and the fact that I'm having to go around 2 different strands. See, it's going in, but you see it's not coming out the bottom, the other side. So I'm going to have to get, a lot of times I have to kind of open it up and see where it is. Let's see here. Well, okay. Let's try this again. Okay. I'm going to cheat a little bit and come in here and see what was the issue here. Where is it at? Where are you? And why are you not going directly straight? Oh, there it comes out. Okay. Just needed a little guidance. So I'm going to pull that all the way through. And then I'm going to tighten it. And this is where I can cut this off here. I like to put everything back. You see how I just tossed it over there like nobody's business? Don't do that. That's how things get lost. Okay. Whoops, I just spilled all of them out. Ouch, I just poked myself in one and I just dropped one on the ground. Okay, I will get that in just a moment. Okay, and so then what I like to do is have that middle string come in the, have that in the middle. Make sure that it's nice and tight on the outside. And this is nice and tight. And then I'm going to just triple knot it. This did not end up being tight like it should have. What happened? Okay. That is not good. Let's unknot this. Which is going to be very tricky. That's when I get my needle out. And I should have made sure that was very tight, which I thought I did. Didn't we check that? And for some reason, it was loose. And that's the bonus about doing it with the wax, is I think it makes it easier to undo. Let's see. Okay, we got that one out. Let's see, we got one more. We did it! Excellent. Okay. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to cut and start over again. Let's see what the issue is here. You know what? Sometimes whenever it gets knotted, remember how I said make sure it doesn't go through that string? I think that's what it did, is I stitched. Let's see if we can. I stitched within the, you know, like the string went inside the other string, so I think that's what the issue was. But let's see if that fixed that. Okay, so this is tight. Get my needle. Right? Well, kinda. Not really. Oh, there it goes. Whoa. Where did that string come from? Wow, did y'all see all the string I pulled out of there? Something just did not work as planned. Okay. Wow, I'm glad I pulled on that because that was a lot of string. Okay. Tight. This is tight, and this is tight. Okay. Wow. That was interesting to say the least. Okay, and this is tight. Okay, so we're gonna, let's redo that, and I'm only gonna tie it one time, and we're gonna test it all again. So, tight. That was so weird. I've never had that happen where I didn't pull all the way through or something, and you had that much string. Okay, so I'm gonna do it one time, and then we're gonna test it out again. Okay. Interesting. Okay, and then I'm going to do a double knot. And then I'm going to cut this. I hope the string wasn't a mistake using, or if I should have doubled it up. But, I don't know. Okay. I think it'll be fine. Let me just see something. I mean, it's holding my pages, and that's what it's there for. Okay, so we have this part done. We've made our books. We made the book. We put it all together. Now, the next step is going to be to cover it. So, I was debating on whether I'm going to probably do this in a second video, just so this video isn't so long. But I did want to show you before I do the cover is how I glue my pages, just in case you guys are new here and you haven't seen me put my book together completely. This is what my next step would be. I basically take the glue, a glue stick. I like this brand, this Avery brand. I've used it for a long time. I used to use the Elmer's Extreme because I really, really like how it really glued the pages down. And then I just put this on top of it. And a lot of times what I'll do is I was going to grab a ruler because I will smooth it out with the ruler or with a bone folder. And also, in order to keep the glue from getting onto the next page, I will put a piece of paper or like a piece of wax paper, and then like that. And then, so once I start, and I'll do this like while I'm sitting in front of the TV watching, we could put on our Christmas movies or something like that. I'm going to take, we're going to take some washi tape. Where's my washi? Let's grab, we're going to grab Christmas washi tape. Let's see if I can grab some over here. And I'm going to seal those edges down. So I'll grab, here's a, let's see here, here's a green and white. And I use all different kind. This is a great time to use up your washi tape though, for sure. So I measure it out. Whoops. Oh no. Okay. Start over, rip the washi. Okay, let's start over. Ooh, here's some poinsettias. There it is. Okay. And then I'll come in here. Oh yeah, that's pretty. And I do it like halfway. So you have half of the washi on one side of the glued pages and half of the washi on the other side. And then I just fold it over. And voila, that is your first page done. And then I just trim these edges off. So yeah, so that's going to be my next step. I'm going to glue my pages, add washi to the side, and then I will come back and we will do the covers of our, well, I'll do my cover of my journal and I'll show you how I plan on covering my journal, because this will be for November and December, but I am going to be using that. I had some extra of that quilt block paper material left, so I'm going to be doing that as well. And then all I need to do is decide on like what I want to do to the center, or what is going to be the cover, what's going to be my visual cover to my journal. So alright you guys, well thanks for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.